Hi, 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 hi. Um, it's a very good edition of the Counter Press. My name is Fiifi-Manfred. Um, Chelsea just won against Luton Town by 3 goals to 0, and this is the post-match breakdown of the game. So, thank you very much for joining me. Don't forget to do like, subscribe, and share. Do not forget liking, subscribing, and then making sure you turn the description button there, description in there. Make sure you leave your comments in the comment section. Choose all. Actually, I'm grateful for your time, grateful for everything that you do for me here. So it was an outstanding game of football. Chelsea Football Club. Um, like I said, there was no way Mauricio Pochettino was going to change that back line. So he went into that lineup in a 4-2-3-1, a 3-5-2, anyhow you want to see it. So essentially, it was just a four back in when Chelsea were on the ball phase of the game, and a three back when Chelsea are on the ball, and a four back when Chelsea are without the ball. It means that Levi Cole played as a fullback, and then Ben Chilwell played as an attacker, and that's exactly why he got those chances in there. I mean, Chelsea played very well openings of the game, and that's exactly how the games have been. In the first game that Chelsea played, had a lot of possession against Liverpool after the 30th minute mark. Same for the game against West Ham United. They didn't finish their chances. This one got an early goal via himself. And if you watch the pre-match analysis, one of the things I did mention was that Chelsea would have to use their wide area threat. I did mention that players like Madueke and Sterling would have to take players on 1v1. And once they do, in that Sterling was actually a 2v1 from wide area. Chelsea used the tilt dimension. It came from the left-hand side where Ben Chilwell was. The ball was played across to the right-hand side. Raheem Sterling was in his 2016-2017 form, took two players on 1v1, and then slots the ball in the back of the net. Right apart from that, now there was a big problem for Chelsea to impose themselves in the game. Luton were pressing high and low, actually. That's something that a lot of people did not expect. They wanted to take Chelsea by surprise, press at certain points in time in the game a little bit high, and certain times in the game they did sit low as well in the mid block from Luton Town. But essentially, a core of the game was in how Chelsea were going to play out on the press when Luton were pressing, and I think they did excellently well in that regard. When Luton did press very high, Chelsea was able to play out on the back. Anytime that they sat down to, Chelsea was able to play quick combination passes. Initially, Moses Caicedo wanted to do more, but then you could tell when Mauricio Pochettino did send a signal to him and told him that, you know what, just do the simple stuff. And once he began to do the simple stuff, it was exciting for him. He played good football. He dictated the pace of the game. He was the one for the counter press and the trigger for all of those balls. And then Enzo Fernandez, mine oh my, it was brilliant right after that first goal. And when the first half whistle did come, Chelsea knew that they were in exactly a position that they wanted to be in. Now, in the early embers of the second half, Chelsea took their foot off a little bit of the throttle. And I was a little bit worried because it is so characteristic for Chelsea to score one and wait for middle table, bottom table clubs to come and get an equalizer, and then Chelsea will be in trouble. But then this game, while Chelsea took their feet off the pedal in their attack, the defenders were resolute. I think that Axel Disasi fared very well against Adebayor today in those 1v1 duels. He lost it against Luis Diaz. He lost it against Mikel Antonio. But in this one against Adebayor, he was excellent in that regard. And he played very well. He was strong, win those 1v1 battles. And then, of course, the on-the-ball ability of Levi Cole was outstanding. In the first half, he played about a 25-meter, 30-meter, central cutting ball through the middle of the park to Nicholas Jackson. It was a beautiful ball. Again, in the second half, Chelsea got the chances. Ben Chilwell had the yawning post to his mercy, chose to slide the ball to his right-hand side to Raheem Sterling. Maybe because the ball was on his weaker foot, the right foot, but then really, the ball was on the penalty spot, and then Ben Chilwell should have buried that. The next chances did fall to Enzo Fernandez. Chelsea dropped off, but I like the press of Chelsea Football Club. Off the ball, it became more like a 4-1-4-1 some point in time, or a 4-4-2. Raheem Sterling dropped to the wings, and you have Benjamin Chilwell also drop in there. Then the two midfielders were Enzo Fernandez and then Gallagher, whilst Moses Caicedo and Jackson started the press on out. It was a brilliant press on Chelsea Football Club in that regard. Now, just when the Sterling second goal did come through, now you could tell that confidence was high, created chance after chance, and then Nicholas Jackson goal. I think that essentially the shape is something as a Chelsea fan you should expect that you're going to see a lot more. Like I said earlier, it's as a result of height. There's a height deficiency in the team, and Mauricio Pochettino at any point in time would want to make sure that he augments that. He wants to make sure he finds resolutions to that, and he's going to play Axel Disasi. Also, Pep plays in the same formation with the three centre backs at the back, albeit somebody comes inverted. Pochettino says in the variation, you start nominally with three centre backs, two full backs, not the regular Pep one, but then one fullback is going to play essentially as a winger, then the other one plays as a fullback. And I think it's the same principle, but then different interpretation, different implementation of the various principles that both managers have. So it was a dominant game for Chelsea Football Club. I did predict that Sterling or Jackson were going to score, and they did score in that game. I mean, if you did bets, make sure you bring me my money because it was a good one for you. Chelsea played very, very well, dominated possession, had a lot of the ball. Chelsea are now 8th in possession. It was a good game of football, given the injuries that Chelsea have. I know Luton weren't as stubborn as we expected them to be, but then Chelsea had to impose themselves. It brings a lot of relief to Stamford Bridge. You know that it was a difficult game and you wanted to make Chelsea win because Chelsea had gone through all the patches post Graham Potter, Frank Lampard, since Todd Bowley came, Thomas Tuchel, Mauricio Pochettino. It's been long since Chelsea won at home against Leeds United, and no member of the English Premier League teams who is in the last time was against Crystal Palace. That's been a very, very long time, close to a year. So getting this win was so important to Chelsea in there to get his win. So tactically, it was the same setup, the tilts dimension, the 1v1 threats, the 2v1 threats from Raheem Sterling, and he has been blistering for Enzo Fernandez. You saw him, top-notch player. Moises Caicedo, immediately he began to do the simple stuff. You saw the Moises Caicedo that you know from Brighton and Hove Albion. So yeah, Chelsea were good. Good win for Chelsea. 8th on the table now. Yes, they played more games than most of their clubs. In fact, barring Luton, they played more games than everybody. But it's a good win and a step in the right direction. At Stamford Bridge, that was sitting on tenterhooks, got a win, got a confidence, and they would love to build from this. 3 goals, clean sheet. Petrovic was in the stands. Romeo Lavia was in the stands. Reece James was in the stands. You sense the unity. You sense how all of them are in tandem and they want to win something for the club. So, yeah, exciting one. Thank you. It's just my post-match analysis and I want to put it here. Make sure you do subscribe. Turn on the notification button and turn on all. This is Fiifi-Manfred on the content page. I'll see you. Have a wonderful weekend. Salute.